My name is Pimpawan KUMPHAI, and so I am from Central Michigan University. Oh, what a great idea to just trying to do this for our students. So they have the tool that is sitting there, they can look at it at all times, and then try to conceptualize and think of how can they use the principle of designs and elements and try to create a dress or a garment that will be fit for the perfect or the body that they are in. My objectives is to trying to create something that will be useful for our students. It's very simple concept. Acquire 3D body data, perform like a cross-sectioning slicing, and then trace those images, cutting the foam, and then build the dress form, right? So what could go wrong? It was just very easy. Well, things get a little more problematic. So we have a wide range of the models here. One that are very independent. She is in the wheelchair, but she could walk a little bit, very short distance, and then can stand for a little bit. For the second model, she's very independent, but she cannot hold her trunk up. She's in the wheelchair all day long. And the third and the fourth model, they are with caretaker 24 hours, so in the wheelchair at all times, and of having all the models go into the body scanners. So with that, we were able to put model 1 and 2 in the scanner. The 3D body scanning, for the first model, no problem. For the second model, the wheelchair cannot go through the door. So after we clean that all up, these are the files that we have. For the first one, no problem. For model 2, so she wore a little tight top, and then the legging is a little loose, but there's some other spaces that's like sagging and things like that. Think about having 3 people holding her. So it's a little harder for her to hold the arm positions outward, and then without having interrupt other like postures like at the shoulders and things like that. I don't think that's really represent well of how she is sit in a wheelchair and how her like the bottom part, muscle and fat and everything is laid. And then like after the scan, we just run it through like the cross-sectional cut and just draft it, trace it out, and then cut the foam. For the avatar, we did some manual measurements. And then with that, I input the measurements as many as I can in CLO. So the creation of the avatar would look the most resemble to the models. Is there 2 different postures that I created for the dress form. One is standing and then one is seating. A little bit difficult to input some of the measurements in the system. The challenges comes when we have to use CLO to convert it to OBJ, so we can put it through AnthroScan that way. So there's a lot of back and forth with creating this. What we find out from using different technologies together to put together a little dress form. So with the 3D body scanning, it's just like the accommodation of how we can have a person who's in a wheelchair and going in there without a problem. And then again, with some of the models who doesn't have strength for the torso trunk, she cannot sit by herself. So there needs to be some kind of mechanism that kind of lock her into place and things like that. With the avatar creation, we can't just make an avatar a human, like a real human. So it has to be perfect, symmetrical from top to bottom or from left to right. These are the results of the dress forms. Because we use 1-inch thickness of the foam dress form, so when we create the cross-sectioning and putting them together, there are ridges that's kind of like not laying smooth on there. We put like all the landmarks on the dress form. So when students they create their first pattern, they were able to put it on the dress form just to see if they need to do a little tweaking. Having the foam dress form really helped. The students were able to get the fitting muslin ready and kind of fit a little better to the model. So once the model come, they didn't have a lot of change to make for that. So after they had that, they create their final garments and things like that, and then the model come for the final fitting.